My dad is the thunder sovereign who controls mighty lightning. My mom is the daughter of light, crowned with a light elemental diadem. But I, who should have inherited my parents' powerful talents, instead awakened the lowest grade double F in history, namely the spirit child and wood elements. This made everyone mock me, calling me a good-for-nothing who wasn't truly born of my parents. Even the academy's principal thought I was completely useless. Yet, facing their ridicule, I merely scoffed. Spirit child element, wood element, wood element. What does that have to do with my Sharingan and wood release? When one day my Susanoo is fully summoned, I'll let you know what the power of a god truly is. At this moment, during the awakening ceremony at Dragon Splendor Academy in the Divine Dragon Empire, I looked with a pale face at my newly awakened double F-grade talent, feeling that I could only be a good-for-nothing rich second generation, waiting to die. Congratulations, host. You have successfully bound to the Naruto mission system. The system has detected that the host has awakened a wood element ability, which can be transformed and evolved into a bloodline limit. Wood release. The system has detected that the host has awakened a spirit child element ability, which can be transformed and evolved into a bloodline limit. Sharingan. As the system's voice rang in my mind, my heart instantly grew fervent. I hastily opened my attribute panel to check it. Host. Mu Chin age. 18. Level, Tier 1, Rank 1. Abilities Earth, Fire, Wind, Water. Special abilities. Would release, Sharingan. Sharingan 3 Tomo. Extraordinary visual abilities, Insight and Mimicry Genjutsu. Would release, none yet. Looking at the system's introduction, although there was no accompanying scene for would release, the system had directly upgraded my Sharingan to the 3 Tomo level. Now, just with the 3 Tomo Sharingan, it was enough to rival C-grade abilities. I then opened the store function. A dazzling array of ninjutsu appeared before my eyes, instantly filling my vision. All the Sharingan ninjutsu were listed, and one powerful would release after another. I felt an intense itch in my heart from seeing them. However, when I found that my energy points were 0, I hastily asked the system how to acquire energy. 3 ways to obtain energy points. Temporary exchange, complete missions, demonic core exchange. I nodded, very satisfied. In this world of spiritual energy resurgence, demonic beasts were everywhere. Spirit stones were the common currency of this world. I thought I should quickly go home and ask my mom for some to try out the exchange currency. However, just as I was solely focused on energy points, a beautiful figure walked up to me. After some hesitation, she finally mustered the courage to say, Mu-chan, let's have less contact in the future. The one speaking was none other than Zhao Shui, from Dragon Splendor Academy, who had just awakened a top-tier S-grade weapon talent. Because both the Mu family and the Zhao family were 2 major families in Dragon Splendor City, and we were also the same age, our parents often intentionally or unintentionally tried to set us up. But I knew myself that I had no feelings for Zhao Shui at all. It was only because of my parents' relationship that I often spent time with her. Zhao Shui then continued, You have an F-grade talent, and I have an S-grade talent. So, it's impossible for us to be together. I pinched my nose, looking at the beautiful face before me, and said indifferently, Zhao Shui, are you perhaps mistaken? I never said we would be together in the future. Aren't you being a bit too presumptuous? When Zhao Shui heard my words, her face showed annoyance as she said, Mu-chan, don't be so stubborn. I know you can't accept it. Who told you to awaken a useless talent? Blame yourself for being a good-for-nothing. The surrounding classmates, seeing this scene, also wore expressions of schadenfreude. I, however, replied with an innocent face, Are you done talking? My mom is still waiting for me to go home for dinner. After speaking, without waiting for Zhao Shui's reaction, I directly left the crowd. The onlookers might have mocked me, but no one dared to directly stop me. Who told me I had such an awesome dad? Seeing that I showed no signs of sadness at all, Zhao Shui immediately felt slighted. She shouted furiously, You're just being stubborn now. Just don't go home and cry. However, I had already walked far away without looking back. In a flash, I returned to my family's large estate. I asked my mom for some spirit stones, converted into energy points. After thinking for a moment, I chose 3 wood shield ninjutsu techniques, and the armoring wood spear and golden sand ninjutsu techniques, a combination of offense and defense. Then I decided to hunt low-level demonic beasts at the entrance of the junior demonic beast forest. The instructors of Dragon Brilliance Academy and many new students had already arrived here. When they saw me slowly walking over, everyone quieted down, whispering, "What is Mu Chun doing here? Is a double F-grade trash here to seek death?" Walked into the demonic beast forest without a trace of hesitation. The surrounding classmates, including Xianxia, saw me enter the demonic beast forest alone. All anticipated in their hearts that I would surely be gnawed to bits by the demonic beasts. Stepping into the entrance of the demonic beast forest, I only felt the space distort for a moment. The scenery changed and directly transported me into a dense, lush forest. Triggered quest. Solo clear the junior demonic beast forest. Quest reward, 1,000 energy points. Seeing my first quest, I was in a great mood, ready to begin a massacre. Soon, in front of a tree, I saw a Tier 1, Level 1 demonic blood ape. Without further ado, I quickly formed hand seals with both hands and unleashed the wood shield and wood spear ninjutsu. A giant tree burst out of the ground, transforming into a long spear and shooting towards the demonic blood ape. A whistling sound instantly caught the demonic blood ape's attention. It nimbly turned and leaped, instantly dodging my attack. I looked at the demonic blood ape with some surprise. This little rascal is quite agile. Then, seeing the enraged demonic blood ape charge over like a black shadow, I showed no trace of panic. My eyes shifted, forming the three-tomo Sharingan. At this moment with the Sharingan, all of the demonic blood ape's movements seemed to slow down by half. Under my gaze it had nowhere to hide. My hands began to sink rapidly. I unleashed the Thorn Sand Ninjutsu. Several sharp-bladed thorns suddenly grew from the nearby trees. Vines tightly wrapped around the demonic blood ape. It still tried to struggle. However, I didn't give it any chance. I formed hand seals again. A wood spear instantly pierced through the demonic blood ape's body. Congratulations, host. You have successfully killed a Tier 1, Level 1 demonic blood ape. At this amazing moment, then I opened the panel to check my stats. Host, Mu Chun, level Tier 1, Level 1. To level up to the next tier, 90 experience points are still needed. A few hours later. Congratulations, host. You have successfully leveled up to Tier 1, Level 2. Reward, 100 points. The highlight. After several hours of hunting, I finally gathered enough experience points for the upgrade. Next, I prepared to look for a Tier 1, Level 2 demonic beast to challenge. At the same time, outside the demonic beast forest, an instructor was checking a virtual screen. Seeing that the top rank actually displayed my name, everyone at the competition venue was stunned. They hadn't expected me to have hunted 10 demonic beasts. One should know that the second-ranked, Xianxia, who possessed S-grade talent, had only just killed 8 demonic beasts. At this moment, someone suddenly said, "They must have given him something to cheat with from the Mu family." This statement immediately gained everyone's approval. Although outside, everyone was now discussing my cheating. I, in the demonic beast forest, had already found new prey. A Tier 1, Level 2 water-drenching shrimp. This water-drenching shrimp's 2 pincers alone were as long as a person. One look and I knew it wouldn't be easy to deal with. With a serious expression, I immediately used the Thorn Sand Ninjutsu. Vines that burst from the ground instantly coiled around the water-drenching shrimp. Its 2 giant pincers rendered it unable to move. I then quickly approached the water-drenching shrimp. Looking at the giant shrimp eyes before me, I used the Genjutsu Sharingan. Although this water-drenching shrimp possessed powerful physical defense, the Sharingan belonged to mental attacks. Low-level demonic beasts like the water-drenching shrimp had no resistance whatsoever to mental attacks. In the blink of an eye, it stopped struggling and crashed down. I let out a heavy breath, continuously using so many ninjutsu, including the number of uses of the Sharingan. My expenditure was also quite significant. After a short rest, the stipulated 4 hours had already passed. A burst of spatial power enveloped me, teleporting me out. Congratulations, host, for completing the mission. Solo clearing the beginner monster forest. Obtained 1,000 energy points as a reward. Afterwards, I exchanged the monster boxes harvested this time for energy value. Now my energy points have reached 2,170. 2,000 energy points should be enough to exchange for quite a few good things. So, on the way home, I couldn't resist opening the shop to check it out. With my current financial resources, I could only purchase some ordinary wood-release ninjutsu. The Sharingan-I techniques on the other side would cost at least tens of thousands of energy points. After some thought, I finally selected Deep Forest Emergence, Great Forest Emergence, and would clone 3 ninjutsu techniques. Successfully exchanged 400 energy points for a wood release technique. Great Forest Emergence summons large trees from the arm to attack enemies, and can also be used to defend against attacks. Successfully exchanged 600 energy points for a wood release technique. Deep Forest Emergence, a mini version of Deep Forest Creation, summons a small forest, usable for both offense and defense. Successfully exchanged 1,000 energy points for a wood release technique. Wood clone splits, creating a wood clone almost identical to the original body, making it difficult to distinguish. Can be used to confuse enemies or as a decoy. Looking at the descriptions of the 3 techniques, I was very satisfied. My mood was great. Currently, even if I exchanged for Mangekyo Sharingan techniques with my current strength, I wouldn't have enough spiritual energy to maintain them. In comparison, these wood release techniques are actually the most suitable for me at this stage. These past few days, I took first place in the beginner monster trial, which also stirred up a lot of discussion among them. They believed I must have used cheating methods to win first place. As the subject of their discussions, I, however, spent these past few days clearing all Tier 1 and below Level 3 monsters in the beginner monster forest. After clearing the last Tier 1 Level 3 exploding wolf, my level had successfully risen to Tier 1 Level 3. Afterwards, when the time limit was reached, I was forcibly teleported to the entrance. Congratulations, host, for dominating the leaderboard of Monster Forest No. 1 for 5 consecutive days. Mission completed. Dominate the leaderboard for 5 days. Obtained 1,000 energy points as a reward. Ignoring the strange looks from the people around, I went straight back to my own large estate. As soon as I got home, my little maid, Ling Wan, immediately came up to greet me. After greeting the little maid, I returned to my room. I then exchanged all the accumulated monster boxes from these past few days for energy value. Seeing that, in the end, there were only 3,730 energy points, I was still quite a bit short of my goal. I was a little disappointed. It seems tomorrow I need to prepare to start going to Beginner Monster Forest No. 2. Beginner Monster Forest No. 2. The highest level in the forest is only Tier 1 Level 5. Strength-wise, with my current strength, it definitely won't be a problem. Once I've accumulated 10,000 energy points, I can exchange for the eye techniques. Just thinking about it, I couldn't suppress the excitement in my heart. Dad, Mom, you're back. As soon as I went downstairs, I saw Mu Jun and Li Xian had returned. Both of them hold important positions and usually have no time to come home. My dad is the head of the executive department of Dragon Emblem City, managing all matters, big and small, within the department. He's often so busy that he's nowhere to be seen. And my mom, Li Xian, is an intelligence officer in the information department. She basically goes out on missions every few days. Although the Mu family is one of the 3 great families of Dragon Emblem City, that doesn't mean they don't have to do anything. On the contrary, as one of the 3 great families, with greater ability comes greater responsibility. When Mom saw me, she immediately came over and gave me a big hug. The family of 3 had a warm meal together. The next morning, the little maid informed me that Dad and Mom had already left. After hearing this, I carefully looked at this cute lowly dressed in female attire, and my mood brightened up again. After finishing breakfast, I arrived at today's designated destination, Monster Forest No. 2. Under normal circumstances, the inner thoughts of someone who just awakened their ability. Most have to train in Beast Forest No. 1. To reach Tier 1, Level 2 strength in half a month. Only then can they come to Beast Forest No. 2. But even the fastest would take 10 days. Yet I only took 5 days to sweep through Beast Forest No. 1 completely, and my strength even reached Level 3. Simply unheard of. So when I arrived at Beast Forest No. 2, there was no one here, which suited me perfectly. Without the slightest hesitation, I teleported in the outskirts of Beast Forest No. 2. I was currently being tightly surrounded by 3 Tier 1, Level 2, Earth Grade, Strength-type golden-furred monkeys. Tightly surrounded, preparing to charge at me simultaneously from 3 different directions. However, I didn't use Muduin to counterattack. Instead, I planned to use the three of them to train my Sharingan. Immediately after, my eyes slowly turned into a pair of vivid, red three-tomo Sharingan. My fierce ocular power locked onto the three golden-furred monkeys. At the same time, I slowly drew a 190 centimeters short blade from behind me. With a bang, as my foot stomped forcefully on the ground, gripping the short blade tightly, I swiftly charged towards the golden-furred monkey on the far right. The golden-furred monkey swung its long arm, clenching it into a fist, and heavily smashed it towards me. Even the air carried a whistling sound. My eyes flashed. Then, using my Sharingan, I saw through the movements of the golden-furred monkey on the right. At the same time, the middle one and the two on the left, the movements of the golden-furred monkeys were also seen clearly. I had already thought of a countermeasure in the fastest time, skillfully dodging the attacks of the three beasts simultaneously. Then, using the short blade in my hand, I drew a sharp arc of blade light in the air. I ripped open the right golden-furred monkey's heart. All I heard was a poochie sound. The golden-furred monkey on the far right was already spurting blood. His heart ruptured. The two golden-furred monkeys in the middle and on the left saw their companion killed. Immediately erupted with their strongest power as if going mad, rushing towards me, wanting to avenge their companion. No matter how fast they were under the gaze of my Sharingan, they still seemed too slow, simply full of flaws. I decisively used my short blade, kicking up a cloud of dust from the ground, disturbing the vision of the two beasts. Then another strike pierced through the heart of one golden-furred monkey. The remaining beast, seeing its two companions killed one after another, was already blinded by rage. However, it didn't know that under my Sharingan the biggest taboo was to panic and make mistakes. I used an illusion to directly fix it in place from afar. Then another strike mercilessly ended its life, skillfully put the three beast cores on top, and began searching for level 5 beasts. After all, the goal of coming to Beast Forest No. 2 was them. Then walked towards the center of the forest. At the entrance of Forest No. 2. According to usual practice, today was only the 6th day. Absolutely no new students would come to Beast Forest No. 2. But there was an exception this year. That was the S-rank ability user Zhao Sun. As Longhui City's first S-rank in decades, even centuries, his speed of progress was naturally unparalleled. In just 5 days, Zhao Sun had already risen to Tier 1, Level 3, breaking the records set by all previous students. However, Bai Su, who teamed up with him, although his strength was a bit weaker, it was also because he teamed up with Zhao Sun. They left Beast Forest No. 1 together. However, when they left, the cumulative record for Beast Forest No. 1 was still held. Bai Su said, "Here is Beast Forest No. 2. To come to Beast Forest No. 2 on the 6th day, in the entire Grey Dragon Academy, probably only the two of us, both born into one of the 3 great families," Bai Su proudly said. But when the two of them reached the entrance, they discovered that my name, Mu Chun, was displayed on the big screen. They had already entered Monster Beast Forest No. 2. This made the two of them simply unable to believe it. Why would I, a double F-grade good-for-nothing, be 1 step ahead, arriving at Monster Beast Forest No. 2 even earlier than them? Zhao Shui gritted her teeth, truly unable to comprehend. She, Zhao Shui, was the favored daughter of Huilong Academy. But why was it always I who walked ahead of him? Anyone who didn't know would think I didn't have a double F-grade ability. Instead, it's a double F-grade ability. A double F-grade talent actually suppressing their B-grade talent, and an S-grade talent. However, a cold sneer appeared on Bai Shukuin's face. Monster Beast Forest No. 2 is not like Monster Beast Forest No. 1. We'll go straight in and look for the ranch. At that time, I'd like to see how he manages. At this moment, I was holding a knife, cutting open the skull of a first-tier, level 4 monster beast. Another level 4 monster core in hand. Thinking there was still half an hour left, I could still harvest 2 or 3 more monster beasts. Just as I was about to search for my next target, suddenly, 2 late-night Zhao Shues appeared before him. Bai Shukuin. Seeing the 2 of them appear here, I was a little surprised. But when Bai Shukuin saw the dead level 4 monster beast on the ground, he sneered, "Young Master Mu has truly made something of himself. You can even kill a level 4 monster beast. Did you use some cheating method we don't know about?" I gave him a faint glance, and directly called him an idiot. "You dare call me an idiot? Fine. Today, I'd like to see for myself how a double F grade. Good-for-nothing achieved such results. Bai Shukuin said furiously. He then rolled up his sleeves, his entire body's muscles bulging, displaying his B-grade strength-type ability. I shook my head, a look of impatience on my face. Just as Bai Shukuin thought I was about to surrender, my figure instantly vanished. Bai Shukuin suddenly felt a strong gust of wind rush towards his face. Before he could react, a sharp branch appeared in my hand at some unknown point and pressed it against his throat. Just as Bai Shukuin tried to struggle, I applied a little force. The branch pressed against his throat had already cut his skin, and tiny drops of blood seeped out. "Do you want to test if I dare stab through your throat?" I said, looking at him indifferently. Seeing my expressionless face, Bai Shukuin was instantly terrified and froze. At this moment, Mu Chun, Zhao Shui, who was beside him, had just opened her mouth to say something. I abruptly turned my head, and a pair of 3 Tomo Sharingan met her eyes. In just an instant, Zhao Shui suddenly felt as if she had fallen into an endless gate of hell. She couldn't muster even a shred of strength in her entire body, and couldn't even speak. "I'm just a little annoyed by you two right now. So please, the two of you, appear less in front of me from now on. Otherwise, next time won't be so simple." Leaving these words behind, I turned and walked deeper into the monster beast forest. It wasn't until I had walked far away that Zhao Shui was released from the illusion. She gasped for air. During that feeling, she clearly had a clear consciousness but found that she couldn't move at all. That feeling was too terrifying. Was that his spirit child play ability? Zhao Shui thought to herself, filled with lingering fear. Bai Shukuin, standing beside her, swallowed hard and said, "Isn't he a double F-grade talent? How can he be so strong?" Just now, Mu Chun merely made a slight move and left the two of us utterly defenseless. "It seems he fooled all of us," Zhao Shui said, still feeling a lingering fear. The world. Zhao Shui and Bai Shukuin, taking advantage of the remaining time, hunted another level 3 monster beast before being teleported out. In the following days, I hunted in the monster beast forest twice a day. Looking at the continuously rising balance, I was filled with motivation. From monster beast forest no. 1 to monster beast forest no. 5. The entire beginner level demon beast forest. The first clear records of the forest had all been claimed by me alone. Everyone looked at the records of the entire beginner monster forest. They were all dumbfounded. And today marked exactly 1 month since awakening their talents. From today onwards, they could officially go outside the city to hunt those truly fierce, brutal, and lawless monsters. During this past month, most people were still stuck in beginner monster forest no. 1. Only a small number of new students above C grade were qualified to enter monster forest no. 2. Even the most watched SG Talent Holders Challenge only began on the last day, opening monster forest no. 4. But they still couldn't clear it. But no matter which number, on the large screen at the entrance of the monster forest, my first clear record was always displayed, like a towering mountain, suffocating all the new students, including Zhao Shui. In beginner monster forest no. 5. I was forming hand seals with both hands, using the wood shield, thorn, sand art, towards a first-tier rank 8 twin-winged flying serpent, wrapping around it. The twin-winged flying serpent, in the sky, flapped its huge wings to dodge my vines. Then, its snake mouth opened, spitting out a swift bolt of lightning from its mouth, striking fiercely towards me. Wood shield, wood arm. I quickly formed hand seals with both hands, summoning a curved, arched wood shield from the ground, blocking it in front of me. It blocked the striking lightning. The twin-winged flying serpent, seeing that this attack had no effect on me, opened its large mouth and swooped down from the sky. Seeing this, I dared not be careless in the slightest. I directed the great tree Ganoderma art to bind the twin-winged flying serpent. But the twin-winged flying serpent's strength was astonishing, and it forcibly broke free from the great tree wood art. It bit me in one gulp. Its slender fangs directly tore my body in half. Regret for a lifetime. The body that was originally torn apart turned into a wooden log at this moment. Got you. On the other side, in the grass, I clasped my hands together. Wood shield, tree C descends. Giant trees tore open the ground and grew wildly. In the blink of an eye, the twin-winged flying serpent was submerged. The wood shield, wood spear art did not stop. I summoned 10 sharp wooden spears in one breath, instantly piercing the twin-winged flying serpent to death. Ding! Congratulations, host, for successfully killing a first-tier rank 8 monster. Gained 80 experience. Ding! Congratulations, host, for successfully leveling up to first-tier rank 6. Hearing the system's notification sound, my originally tired and injured body instantly recovered to its original state. I put away the monster core and just then, the time was up. With the spatial transmission, when I came out, I saw the entrance was crowded. Logically speaking, I should be the only one currently capable of clearing Monster Forest No. 5. My gaze swept around, but I didn't pay much attention and left directly. Back home, I impatiently processed the monster cores harvested these past few days. All exchanged for energy points. Watching my energy points finally break through 10,000 points, excited, I immediately opened the shop, looking at the Sharingan Amaterasu I was going to exchange for this time. Claimed to be the strongest physical attack method, it would never extinguish until the target was completely incinerated. But its track record was embarrassing. It couldn't burn anyone to death. Tsukuyami claimed to be the strongest single-person genjutsu. In the genjutsu, all time and space were controlled by the caster. 72 hours spent in the genjutsu was just an instant in the outside world. Moreover, its track record was very good. After much thought, I finally chose Amaterasu. After all, Amaterasu could not only attack powerful individual monsters, but also launch large-scale area attacks against monsters. After all, in the time to come, I would be facing countless monsters, and not just one powerful monster. Ding! Spent 10,000 energy to successfully exchange for Mangekyo Sharingan Amaterasu. Usage limit, 0.5. After the number of uses reaches the limit, one will permanently lose sight, falling into endless darkness. Please host use with caution. Seeing the system's introduction, I instantly felt I had been tricked. I knew I should have exchanged for a wooden shield instead, helplessly accepting reality. Seeing that over 1,000 energy points were still left, I directly exchanged them for a wooden shield. Boundless eternal burial. Then I opened the panel to check my attributes. Host, Mu Chen age, 18, realm, E tier 6, spiritual treasure spiritual chi attributes. Wind, fire, water, lightning ability level. Sharingan A rank Mangekyo Sharingan, Mu Dun S rank, left eye S rank. Abilities. Mangekyo Sharingan, Amaterasu, Mu Dun Boundless Eternal Burial, Mu Dun. Deep Forest Emergence. Seeing my achievements of the past month, my mood instantly improved. With my current combat power, even if I face a tier 2, level 1 ability user, I can still fight them. The next day, I woke up early. Starting today, I will completely cast aside my new identity. I can freely enter and exit Weilong City. Weilong City was established under the rule of the Divine Dragon Empire, a city centered around an academy. There are many cities like Huilong City. All are subordinate to the Divine Dragon Empire. In times of crisis, they can receive aid from the Divine Dragon Empire. It is the safest place for existing humans. However, there are also some that do not belong to cities within the jurisdiction of the Divine Dragon Empire. These cities are a mixed bag known as disorderly cities. Disorderly cities have collapsed order, filled with all kinds of desperate outlaws, bounty hunters, mercenary organizations, underground auction houses, and so on, forming a unique type of city. But these cities still have some advantages. That is, one can freely trade various weapons and potions, and hawking, etc. Whereas in cities under the jurisdiction of the Divine Dragon Empire, although relatively safe, many things are restricted. Outside Huilong City, I saw the boundless, dense forest. I was somewhat surprised. Just as I was marveling at the scenery before me, a gentle-faced man proactively approached and asked, "Little brother, do you need a ride?" Behind him was a vehicle made of a hovercar made from a mix of metal and wood. It only consumed 1 tier 1 yauha per 100 kilometers. Quite environmentally friendly. I nodded and asked him to take me to the nearest Wushu city, Huainan City. I arrived at Huainan City. This disorderly city, located 10 kilometers outside Huilong City, was also the largest disordered land within a 100-li radius. The permanent population here reached 100,000, which could rival the population size of Huilong City. However, the biggest difference between it and Huilong City was a city directly under the Divine Dragon Empire, while Huainan City was a disorderly city. Therefore, the order here was much more chaotic than in Huilong City. Little brother, we've arrived. As the hovercar stopped in front of Huainan City's gate, I paid the fare and got off, standing before the massive city gate. Every city had high bridges. These were defensive lines against demonic beasts. Even a place like Huainan City, which didn't have a city lord in the strict sense. People living here would spontaneously pool money to build high walls because they deeply understood. This city was their sanctuary. Once it was breached by a demonic beast horde, they would have nowhere to fear. As soon as I walked into Huainan City, yet surging like a tide, noisy sounds rushed over me. Entering the city gate was a street that ran through the entire city. On both sides of the street were crowded shops. There were blacksmith shops, weapon shops, gathering shops, yaohe shops, potion shops, dry food shops, sundry shops, and so on. Every shop had people gathered around it more or less. Some were buying things. Some were selling things. Various sounds of haggling mixed together, making my head buzz. This place was much livelier than Huilong City. There were also people of all sorts here. Mercenaries exuding an aura of strength and bloodlust. Lunar calendar rebels. Slick-faced individuals who cause harm and long-legged mature women. Simply dressed with exposed navels, petite and cute lolas with indifferent expressions, as well as those covered in blood. Yet completely unconcerned mature ladies. They form a unique landscape here, leaving me dazzled. Run for a while and I will pledge my black hair. I started looking at weapons in the nearby shops. The shops had ordinary weapons and also weapons inlaid with various Yao cores. Weapons inlaid with Yao cores can possess powers of the same attribute as the Yao core. Their power is comparable to supernatural abilities. If one could obtain a good inlaid weapon, their combat power would be on an entirely different level. The same principle applies to defensive gear. Potential power can be greatly enhanced. It is an absolute life-saving measure. However, good items also come with high prices. Any weapon or steel saw inlaid with a Yao core, the price is basically 10 times that of ordinary ones or even dozens of times. I took a look. Even the lowest grade ones, weapons inlaid with some first-level Yao cores, start at 100 gold coins. And the ordinary room distance. Their prices range from a few hundred silver coins to a few gold coins. 1,000 silver coins are only equivalent to 1 gold coin. 100 gold coins, however, is half a year's living expenses for an ordinary person. However, for bounty hunters, mercenaries, and other non-ordinary people who often live on the edge, risking their lives for big money, this amount of money is still affordable. They also need such life-saving equipment or sharp weapons. I patted my money pouch. Inside, there were only 200 or 300 gold coins. This was my pocket money, saved for over 2 months without spending. If I were to buy inlaid weapons with this money, it doesn't seem like I could buy much. And spending all my money just to buy one weapon doesn't feel very worth it. But I still decided to look at ordinary weapons. My gaze quickly surveyed the area. Soon, in a weapon shop, I saw a pair of Type 60 throwing darts. I thought to myself, with a Sharingan, how can I not have some throwing weapons? I quickly walked over and picked up a throwing dart, weighing it in my hand. Then I asked the boss, "Boss, how much are these?" The shop owner was a short, stout man, with a receding hairline. He was wearing glasses and polishing throwing darts. He only turned his head to glance at me after hearing my question. He said, "The rhombus-shaped darts are 50 silver coins each. That's quite cheap." I decided I wanted 200 and asked the boss if he had them. The boss said, "Plenty." He told me to go myself to a box in the corner of the room. I carefully selected 200 darts and put them into my spatial storage bag on my back. Then I placed 1 gold coin on the table. Just as I was about to leave, I saw the boss pick up a rhombus-shaped dart and a first-tier, first-level fire absorption Yao core. He took the Yao core and inserted it into the gap in the middle of the rhombus-shaped dart. As spiritual energy gathered in his hand, the Yao core slowly melted into the rhombus-shaped dart. An explosive rhombus-shaped dart was then completed. This explosive rhombus-shaped dart cost 500 silver coins, which was 10 times the price of an ordinary rhombus-shaped dart. I exclaimed in surprise, "Boss, so you're also a forging-type ability user?" The boss let out a light snort and continued to create explosive rhombus-shaped darts without lifting his head. Forging type abilities are support category supernatural abilities among the special category ones. Like forging type, agriculture type, healing type, compounding type, and so on, all belong to support category supernatural abilities. They cannot be directly used for combat, but they can provide for combat category supernatural abilities a great deal of help. The function of forging type supernatural abilities is to forge items of higher quality than what ordinary people can make, better weapons or defensive gear. They can also, through specific spiritual energy usage methods, inlay Yao cores into weapons and defensive gear. It is very popular among support category supernatural abilities and holds an equal status with healing type abilities. Out of curiosity, I secretly used my Sharingan to replicate the boss's entire process of making explosive rhombus-shaped darts, including the specialized spiritual energy usage methods. Thinking that this way I should be able to inlay Yao cores myself. Then quickly put away the writing wheelchair, lest the boss find out. After that, I thought for a moment. I decided to first buy a birthday present for that girl, Xiaoyu. Soon I found a jewelry store. Most of the girls inside were dressed in rosy pink. Of course, there were also quite a few men who were dragged in. I also walked in. The place was filled with all kinds of jewelry, headwear, and everything else imaginable. The materials were also diverse, making one feel dazzled. Just one glance made my head spin. I had no idea where to even begin choosing. As for the girls in the shop, each of them was enthusiastically picking things out. They would occasionally pick up some jewelry and try it on. I could only force myself to look for the sparkle of these pieces of jewelry. First, I had to decide what kind of jewelry to buy. Only then would I consider the style. I immediately ruled out jade bracelets and rings. Necklaces felt too common, not suitable for a young girl. But all that was left were earrings. So my gaze quickly swept across the hanging earrings, scanning them. From my position, I happened to see a pair of crescent moon earrings made of white crystal. They were crystal clear and translucent, giving off a feeling of pure and bright joy. I inexplicably felt that these earrings would definitely suit Huangyu. This is the one. Boss, how much is this? The proprietress looked up at me and said, 100 silver coins. It was even more expensive than the diamond emblem I bought. As expected, women's items have high profits. I silently grumbled to myself, but I still asked the boss to wrap up the earrings. I really didn't want to keep choosing. Just as the proprietress wrapped the earrings and placed them on the counter, and I reached out to take them, suddenly a hand simultaneously grabbed the bag with mine. I want these earrings. A cold and arrogant voice rang out. I turned my head and saw it was a woman. She was very beautiful. Her chest was full, her waist was slender, her hips were shapely, her legs were long and slender. This was my first impression of her. Excuse me, I've already bought these earrings. Please pick something else. I gave her a faint glance. I had no intention of backing down. After all, I had already paid. I said I want these earrings. Can't you understand human speech? She frowned, with a look of unwillingness on her face. Other people in the shop were also drawn by our argument, attracted over. Isn't that Su Miaoning from the Su family? In Huainan City, someone actually dares to snatch something from her. Indeed, this eldest young lady of the Su family is not to be trifled with. Her brother is a gold medal assassin from the Shadow Bounty Guild. His strength is extraordinary. Who in all of Huainan City dares to disrespect him? Even the proprietress told me, young man, why don't you just give up these earrings? There are many other beautiful ones in the shop. She didn't want Su Miaoning to cause trouble in her store. I've already paid. The item is mine. I have no reason to give it up. As I spoke, I twisted my hand forcibly taking the bag containing the earrings from Su Miaoning's hand. I didn't give her any face at all. Su Miaoning was so furious with me. In Huainan City, someone actually dared to snatch something from her. Brat, what's your name? Quickly hand over the earrings you're holding. This way you can still pick another pair of earrings for your girlfriend. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Su Miaoning said, pointing at me. I'm sorry. These earrings are for my girlfriend at home to wear. They are not for my girlfriend, I said with a calm expression. Actually, I wasn't absolutely set on these earrings. Just his attitude put me off. I had already paid, yet he still wanted to snatch it. And his attitude was so awful. He wanted me to give it up. That's simply dreaming. The maid Su Miaoning was completely stunned. Everyone else also looked surprised. This person, not hesitating to offend Su Miaoning to get the item, it turned out to be just for the maid to carry. This is too humiliating, isn't it? Su Miaoning's chest heaved with anger. You stinking brat! You offended me and still think you can leave? Looking at me, who had already walked out of the hall, fury surged in Su Miaoning's heart. She fiercely drew the long whip from her waist and lashed it viciously towards my back. The sound of the long whip whistling through the air reached my ears. A month of actual combat with demon beasts had made my combat senses extremely sharp. Without hesitation, I dodged sideways. Then, with a backhand, I grabbed her long whip and pulled hard. Su Miaoning was clearly not a strength type. Pulled by me like that, she stumbled forward and fell to the ground, doing a faceplant. The entire place instantly fell silent. Someone actually dared to lay hands on Su Miaoning in public? That's too much audacity. Unforgivable. Absolutely cannot be pardoned. Su Miaoning stood up furiously. Disregarding the dust on her body, she fiercely yanked back her long whip. Intense flames ignited on the long whip, transforming into a fiery snake in the air. Go to hell! As her long whip danced, the flames, like a snake, lashed viciously towards me. My eyes instantly transformed into Sharingan. Powerful insight allowed me to instantly find the extent of her attack. I easily dodged the whip's attack. Then I lunged forward, appearing before her. Startled, she was about to retreat. But then she saw my strange and eerie eyes. Genjutsu, Sharingan's power activated. Su Miaoning was completely unprepared. She fell into the illusion and ran off, while I took the opportunity to quickly disappear into the crowd, leaving behind a group of shocked onlookers. The commotion there was only temporary. On the other side of Huainan City, it was still bustling with activity. I quickly arrived at this side of the city. Here were various mercenary organizations and bounty hunters organizations. The transactions conducted here were also very simple, which involved forming teams to hunt demon beasts, accepting commission tasks, and so on. Wanted 1 Tier 2, Level 5 Water Element Demon Core. Can be exchanged for other demon cores of the same tier. Bounty. 1 Tier 2, Level 7 Fire Element Demon Core. Can be exchanged for other demon cores of the same tier. Form a team to hunt Tier 2, Level 3 Demon Beasts. Similar pieces of information were being posted here one after another. And the requirements were all high, often requiring Tier 2 levels. Compared to before, when I was in the Demon Beast Forest in Grey Dragon City, the requirements here were indeed much stronger. With my current strength, there were few tasks I could participate in. These requirements are too high. This is really difficult. I shook my head. Just as I was about to go back, a task popped up. Complete 1 bounty task, or a team mercenary task. Reward, 1000 energy. Unlock mysterious shop. The voice that suddenly rang in my mind made me pause for a moment. But what I cared about more was the task reward, the mysterious shop. This sounded like a place that could sell mysterious items. I'm really curious what it would have inside. But since it's a task, I definitely have to accept it. I have to try no matter what. There were quite a lot of tasks here. Team-up tasks, bounty tasks, mercenary tasks, totaling dozens of them. The requirements varied, but the content was generally similar. Currently, I was at Tier 1, Level 6. There really weren't many tasks I could accept. After looking through them, I felt the most suitable one was only that mercenary task. Go to a Tier 1, Level 7 Demon Beast territory to gather herbs. Requirement: Tier 1, Level 6 or above ability user. The other teams only required Tier 1, Level 5 to participate. I wouldn't even consider it. It's too unchallenging. I was also thinking of hunting a few demonic beasts outside along the way, to properly experience their strength. Having decided on the task, I headed towards the mission board. That was a potion shop. They needed people to enter the demonic beast forest to gather herbs, to make various potions. When I arrived, I heard a bald, fat man shouting, "There's one last spot left. The reward is 1 gold coin. Who wants it?" I quickly pushed my way to the fat man, ready to secure this spot. After the fat man glanced at me, he took out a perfectly square board and placed it in front of me. This is an ability detection board. It can detect your realm level, ability type, and potential level. Detecting realm level is to confirm that you indeed meet the requirements. And detecting ability type is to prevent some lifestyle type or support type skill users from getting in. After all, while these types of abilities can also cultivate realms, their actual combat power is far inferior compared to true combat type abilities. The difference is too great. Just test it. If your realm reaches the requirement, you can come in, the fat man said. I placed my hand on it. Soon, my information was displayed. My realm was Tier 1, Level 6. My ability types were Spirit Child type F grade and Harmony type F grade. The fat man was stunned when he saw this result. He even rubbed his eyes, as if he couldn't believe dual abilities could be dual F grade, and be such a low grade. While dual abilities are rare, they're not unheard of. But dual F grade? I guess he was seeing that for the first time. The people around burst into laughter when they heard him. Dual F grade? This ability is too trashy. It's even worse than lifestyle or support type abilities. I definitely don't want to be in a team with someone like that. Indeed, it's too embarrassing. I didn't take their laughter to heart at all. I just looked at the bald, fat man and said, your hiring requirement is only Tier 1, Level 6. You didn't specify any requirements for ability grade. That's true, there's no requirement, he said. But little brother, you're dual F grade. It really doesn't inspire confidence. Realm level determines the lower limit of strength. Ability grade determines the upper limit of strength. Although both are Tier 1, Level 6, but a dual F grade strength would definitely be lower than a normal low grade. It's weaker than a D grade, you see. Even if both are Tier 1, Level 6, people would surely want to find someone with strong combat power, not someone like you. Little brother, you should look elsewhere. We really don't dare to take you here, the bald, fat man said to me, and I didn't argue. If rejected, just move on. It's not like I absolutely have to join this one team. However, I once again deeply realized that in others' eyes, dual F-grade abilities are truly trash. Just then, suddenly, a man walked over. He yelled at the bald, fat man. Old 8, why haven't you recruited enough people yet? We're about to set off. Don't you even look at the time? You know how the young lady's temper is. If we're late, you'll be in for it. The man's words made the bald, fat man seem to recall something a terrible scene. He shivered. Then he saw me. About to leave, he quickly called out to me. Little brother, don't go yet. I'll take you even though you're dual F grade. But compared to the consequences of being late, a dual F grade isn't such a big deal. I was quite surprised. Didn't he just look down on me? Why does he want me again? Although you're dual F grade, you're still Tier 1, Level 6 after all. However, the reward will be slightly reduced. Only 800 silver coins, is that okay? The bald, fat man was even haggling with me. No problem, I readily agreed. I wasn't originally doing this for this small reward. It was just because the system task required it. I had to participate in a task issued by someone else. Beside the bald, fat man, there were about 10 other people who met the requirements and were recruited. They saw that I was eventually recruited. All showed expressions of disdain. Although there were a few people among them who had just barely reached the Tier 1, Level 6 threshold. But a double F ranked me couldn't earn their respect. Alright, everyone follow me. The bald, fat man called out to everyone, and they left the mission plaza. Our group soon arrived at a place called the Myriad Spirit Pavilion, an apothecary. Several flying vehicles were already parked here. One small car for 4 people and 2 trucks. The small car, of course, was for the people from Myriad Spirit Pavilion, while the trucks were for us hired hands to ride in. Everyone's here, we can set off. The bald, fat man leaned towards the small car's window and said, away from Huainan City, in the beginner beast forest 5 kilometers away, our group, riding in 2 trucks and 1 small car, stopped. This was my first time participating in such a mission, and I had no experience. The others, however, were all experienced. They quickly got into position, occupying various spots, ensuring no blind spots in their vision. Their positioning was very professional. In contrast, I seemed a bit at a loss. The guards of Myriad Spirit Pavilion, on the other hand, were neatly lined up guarding around the small car. It wasn't until the door of the small car opened. A long, slender, straight, and perfectly toned leg stepped out. The moment this leg appeared, it attracted the gaze of many people, including mine. I thought to myself, just by looking at this leg, I knew the person getting out of the car was definitely extraordinary. Sure enough, a tall, mature, and charming woman appeared before my eyes. She looked to be about 23 or 24, with a face like a peach blossom, exquisitely beautiful, yet her pretty face carried a faint chill. She wore a short, cool white shirt on top, and light blue super short denim shorts on the bottom, perfectly showcasing her curvaceous and graceful figure. Definitely a mature and dominant woman. The moment she appeared, many people's hearts skipped a beat just by looking at her. It wasn't until the bald, fat man, who I now knew was the Myriad Spirit Pavilion's steward named Qianfu, softly barked, "If you don't want to die, keep your eyes to yourselves." At his roar, the others quickly averted their gazes. I also snapped back to reality. By listening to the discussions of others, I learned that this woman was named Qian Mengji. She was the boss of Myriad Spirit Pavilion, and her ability type was B-grade potion making. She was different from ordinary alchemists, relying on her unique talent to concoct all sorts of potions. Potions for explosions, fire, water, lightning, poison, and so on, a wide variety. In Huainan City, she made a name for herself with her incredibly skilled potion making. And don't let her beautiful and delicate appearance fool you. Her methods were anything but soft. Quite a few people had died by her hand. After all, anyone who could open a shop in a lawless city like Huainan City was no simple character. Then, Qian Mengji's clear and pleasant voice rang out, "Let's set off." Our destination for this trip was deep within the beginner beast forest. We might encounter Tier 1, Level 3 to Level 7 beasts. Most of the people in the team were Tier 1, Level 6 or 7. Only in the Myriad Spirit Pavilion's guard team was there one Tier 1, Level 9 individual. We gripped our weapons tightly, cautiously advancing towards our destination. Our eyes constantly scanned our surroundings. Soon we were attacked by beasts. There were beasts of various levels, and quite a few were Tier 1, Level 3 to Level 6. In less than half an hour, we were attacked by 20 to 30 beasts. Fortunately, although they were all fierce, we managed to deal with them safely. After about an hour of difficult travel, we finally reached our destination. That was a valley. The entrance was narrow, but inside was an open flat area, filled with all sorts of medicinal herbs that could be used as raw materials for potions. Qianfu began to organize people, letting everyone rest in place, taking turns guarding the entrance. They would set off to return after 2 hours. I didn't need to stand guard for now, so I sat on the outskirts of the grassy area to rest. Taking advantage of this free time, I took out a few rhombus-shaped markers and a few demon cores I obtained from slaying demonic beasts on the way. I participated in the escort mission. According to the rules, whoever killed a demonic beast got its core. This was also part of the mission's reward, which was why the mercenaries fought so hard. I obtained 3 demon cores on this journey. They were a Tier 1 Level 4 lightning-attuned core, a Tier 1 Level 3 fire-attuned core, and a Tier 1 Level 4 wind-attuned core. I recalled the technique the shop owner used to create explosive rhombus-shaped markers at the weapon shop, and the method of using the spiritual energy within his body, and the method of utilizing spiritual energy within the body. Then I began to imitate him, following suit. I successfully embedded the 3 cores into the 3 rhombus-shaped markers. Just like that, 3 greatly enhanced rhombus-shaped markers were completed. Fortunately, my movements were small and no one noticed me. The people from Myriad Spirit Pavilion were still collecting herbs. The mercenaries were still standing guard. Just then, Qian Mengji suddenly looked our way and said, "Someone over there, lend a hand." As soon as the others heard this, they immediately volunteered themselves. Qian Mengji looked around and finally pointed at me, who wasn't as enthusiastic as the others, saying, "That one, little brother, you come over." I was stunned for a moment. Was he calling me, and calling me little brother? When the others saw me being chosen by Qian Mengji, they all gnashed their teeth in extreme envy. After I went over, Qian Mengji pointed at a patch of plants that were quite large and looked very tough. He told me to pull them all out, saying there was no need to fear breaking the roots. Just pull them out. Clearly, he didn't want to use his delicate hands for this kind of work. Without another word, I started pulling out the medicinal herbs as if they were weeds. They were actually quite difficult to pull out. Qian Mengji watched me from the side, a faint, almost imperceptible smile playing on his lips. He said in a voice only we two could hear, "The esteemed young master of the Mu family from Grey Dragon City, doing this kind of manual labor for me. You must be truly wronged." I was greatly alarmed. He actually knew me. I had never been to Huainan City before. Had he been to Grey Dragon City? I suppressed the doubts in my heart, and calmly said, "Working for money, all statuses are the same." Qian Mengji merely showed a beautiful smile and said nothing more. But this made me feel even more that I couldn't see through him. Just then, someone at the valley entrance suddenly shouted loudly, "A horde of demonic beasts!" Suddenly, The people guarding the valley entrance were heard shouting loudly. I turned my head to look, and saw outside the valley a large horde of demonic beasts charging fiercely towards us. There were as many as 20 or 30 of them. Qian Fu immediately stepped forward to take charge of the battle. Although he was chubby and seemed to have no combat power, as the gatekeeper of Myriad Spirit Pavilion, his experience was extremely rich. He had entered and exited the demonic beast forest dozens of times. He calmly commanded, "Earth element defense. Hold the narrowest part of the valley entrance. Other elements, suppress them with firepower." Under his arrangements, we quickly sprang into action. The only 3 earth element ability users in the team joined forces, creating layers of tall barriers in front of the valley to block the incoming horde of demonic beasts. The rest of the people released various elemental attacks from behind. The 10th water ball. Fireballs and lightning balls rained down on the horde of demonic beasts, leaving many of them disoriented. However, the demonic beasts weren't foolish. They quickly began to retaliate. They also unleashed various kinds of attacks. Water thunder abilities once deployed, the scene was dazzling, as our abilities clashed in the air. It was a colorful spectacle. At the same time, the horde of demonic beasts charged towards the dirt bridge. Relying on their powerful physical strength, they forcibly smashed through the dirt bridge. Fortunately, the valley entrance was narrow, so the demonic beasts couldn't all rush in at once. This created an opportunity for Qian Fu and the others. We relied on the terrain advantage, coupled with continuous ability attacks, successfully blocked the demonic beasts outside the valley entrance. They couldn't break through in a short time. Meanwhile, Qian Mengji and their herb-gathering progress was not affected. Qian Mengji and Leng Shang both sped up, to finish early and leave this place early. I was responsible for helping him collect the herbs. Took a great deal of effort to finally complete my task. Just as we were frantically getting the medicinal ingredients loaded onto the vehicles, on the valleys surrounding the basin, demonic beasts suddenly appeared, one after another. They were staring at us with covetous eyes. With a wolf's howl, a dozen or so demonic beasts from the mountain peaks on both sides quickly rushed down. "This is bad. We're surrounded. Protect the medicinal ingredients and retreat." Qian Mengji made a decisive decision, having those specifically responsible for gathering herbs get into the vehicles first. The guards of Wanlin Pavilion successively drew their weapons, preparing to face the attacking demonic beasts. As a hired helper, I naturally couldn't flee from battle. My gaze quickly scanned the surroundings. My eyes had already transformed into Sharingan, clearly grasping the movements of every demonic beast within my sight. A ferocious-looking demonic wolf, jaws agape, pounced towards me. Relying on the powerful insight of the Sharingan, I easily dodged the attack. Then, with a backhand, I shot out 2 diamond-shaped darts. These 2 diamond-shaped darts cleverly collided with each other in the air. It bumped into it, making a nearly 90-degree sharp turn. They directly pierced through both eyes of the demonic wolf. It howled on the ground. The situation for the others was also not bad. Although the demonic beasts attacked fiercely, everyone was experienced. While fending off the demonic beasts, they smoothly loaded all the medicinal ingredients onto the vehicles. Everyone, prepare to retreat. Qian Mengji completely shed her usual ladylike image, standing boldly on the roof of the small car, leading the 2 trucks behind her towards the exit. The others fought while retreating, all returning to the trucks. But the demonic beasts at the exit were still continuously gathering. "You beasts won't shed a tear until you see the coffin, will you?" Qian Mengji quickly took out a tube of small, fiery red potion. With a flick of her finger, the potion landed among the demonic beasts. With a boom, as soon as that finger-sized potion tube hit the ground, it exploded into an extremely terrifying ball of fire, instantly engulfing the entire horde of demonic beasts. "Take 2 more." Qian Mengji then threw out a tube of green and a tube of blue potion with her left and right hands respectively. Bang! Those were wind and lightning energy potions. The wind whipped up the fire, and lightning also mixed in, instantly transforming into a massive fire-wind-lightning tornado that churned the demonic beasts into a chaotic mess. It was my first time seeing this kind of energy potion used. Its power was actually so immense. It was completely comparable to a Tier 1, Level 7 ability. 3 tubes of potion had turned a horde of demonic beasts upside down. This was the strength of a professional alchemist. Seizing this opportunity, the convoy quickly rushed out of the valley, returning at full speed along the original path. However, in the woods on both sides, shadows rapidly approached, their speed no slower than our vehicles. Still not giving up? I could clearly see that they were all demonic wolves, tier 1, level 6, and quite a few of them. Don't let them get close. The convoy's vanguard quickly organized the mercenaries on the vehicles. Conduct long-range suppressive fire. Stop them from getting closer. But just then, on the main road directly in front of the convoy, a demon wolf, even larger in size, blocked our path. That was the demon wolf king. It suddenly slammed the ground heavily. Sharp earthen spikes protruded from the ground, spreading towards our convoy. To avoid the earthen spikes attack, the driver had to sharply turn the steering wheel. As a result, the speeding vehicle crashed into a tree and was forced to stop. The people in the car were instantly thrown around, causing the suppressive fire to be interrupted. The surrounding demon wolf pack quickly approached to protect the medicinal herbs. Kill all these beasts, Qian Fu roared loudly. The truck couldn't continue driving. We had to quickly get out of the car, spread out and prepare for battle. Just as I, like everyone else, spread out, preparing to face the enemy. The system's voice suddenly rang in my mind. Ding! Quest triggered. Slay the Wolf King. Quest reward, 3,000 energy points. Slay the Wolf King? I was stunned for a moment. Then I looked up at the tier 2, level 3 Wolf King. This was a formidable fellow. With my current strength, how could I possibly be his opponent? It would be good enough if I could just save my own life. Trying to kill him would be as difficult as reaching the heavens. But the reward given by the system was too tempting. 3,000 energy points. This was no small sum. It seems I can only find a way to seize an opportunity to snatch the kill. I secretly made a decision in my heart. Now our entire convoy was surrounded by the demon wolf pack. To break out, we must eliminate the demon wolf king. At that time, I just need to seize the opportunity to snatch a kill and get the demon wolf king's kill for myself. Of course, the premise for all of this is that we can withstand the demon wolf pack siege. If we can't hold them off, then our fate will only be to become food for the demon wolf pack. Gnawed until not even a speck remains. At that point, killing the demon wolf king? Don't even think about it. Kill! Everyone gripped their weapons tightly. Shouts of battle rose to the sky. Not a single person flinched, resolutely charging towards the demon wolf pack. On the main road, I was in the midst of an intense battle, surrounded by a group of monstrous beasts, fiercely clashing with us humans. A demon wolf lunged at me. I quickly began to move my hands. A tough vine wall instantly rose, successfully blocking the demon wolf's attack. The demon wolf struggled greatly to tear open a gap in this tough vine wall, and what awaited him was a sharp sword. I mercilessly ended its life with sword chi. Currently, the overall battle situation was still stable, but the key to the stability lay in that tier 2 level 3 demon wolf king. Had not truly made a move yet. He was our true threat. No sooner said than done. I had just thought of this when the demon wolf king moved. The speed was like the wind, charging rapidly towards us. Humph! 2 tier 1, level 7 mercenaries bore the brunt of the attack, and were directly sent flying. This demon wolf king was incredibly powerful. It didn't even need to use its abilities. Relying solely on its formidable physical strength, it was enough to deal with anyone below tier 2. And there were no tier 2 ability users in our team. Leave this beast to me. You guys quickly deal with the other monsters. Just as everyone was intimidated by the demon wolf king's aura. When they were stunned, Qian Mengji bravely stepped forward. She faced the demon wolf king directly, without the slightest hesitation. She even provocatively beckoned to it with her finger, saying, "Beast, come at me." As if the demon wolf king understood her words, it immediately abandoned its other targets. Fiercely charged towards Qian Mengji, a mere second tier, third level, is not qualified to act presumptuously in front of this maiden. Although Qian Mengji was first tier, 8th level, he was not a combatant by trade. His ability did not possess direct combat capabilities. If it came to a real head-on fight, he might not even be able to defeat a first-tier, 5th-level opponent. However, an alchemist's combat power doesn't rely on themselves, but on their potions. Taste this maiden's secret good stuff. Watching the charging demonic wolf king, Qian Mengji directly, from her hand, flung out 2 tubes of fiery red potions. The potions exploded, turning into two giant fiery red torches, fiercely smashing towards the demonic Wolf King. Their power was quite considerable. But the demonic Wolf King was no simple opponent either. It directly spat out two massive cone-shaped projectiles from its mouth, and shattered these two fireballs into pieces. It's not over yet. Chen Mengji's hands moved continuously, throwing out tubes of potions as if they were free. One must know that these potions, when sold normally, each tube was worth over a dozen gold coins. But now, to deal with the demonic Wolf King, she threw them all without hesitation. Wow! These potions had various attributes. With diverse and dazzling powers, they could completely rival the attacks of a first-tier, 8th or 9th level. Although the demonic Wolf King was very powerful, facing such dense attacks, it was somewhat difficult for it to advance even an inch for a time. It was suppressed by our firepower. However, taking advantage of Chen Mengji changing potion tubes, the demonic Wolf King suddenly stomped its paw, and in astonishing speed instantly burst forth from its feet, pounced fiercely towards Chen Mengji. The speed was astonishingly fast. So fast, Chen Mengji didn't have enough potions on her. For a moment, she couldn't find a potion that would take effect immediately. Seeing the demonic Wolf King about to pounce in front of her, solid tree arm skill, I cast a skill again. A tough vine wall rose up, blocking in front of Chen Mengji. Of course, this level of defense definitely couldn't stop the demonic Wolf King, but it bought Chen Mengji a few seconds of time, allowing her to successfully find some useful potions. And I also arrived by her side. It's you. Regarding my appearance, Chen Mengji was a bit surprised. And I'm only a first-tier 6th level. Yet I dared to get involved in this dangerous situation. You are my employer. I don't want to miss out on my reward, I replied indifferently. Actually, my real purpose was to target the demonic Wolf King's head. I had already seen that Chen Mengji's combat power wasn't actually that much. To take down the demonic Wolf King, I could only cooperate with her. But regarding my good intentions, Chen Mengji just let out an inexplicable laugh, saying, "If you die, I won't have to pay you." I glanced at this ungrateful woman, and couldn't be bothered to waste any more words with her. In a few moves, the demonic Wolf King tore open the tough vines, and continued to charge towards us. It leaped up, its claws in the air, drawing a terrifying arc of light, and fiercely slashed towards me. Great tree forest art. My hands quickly formed seals. A large number of square shapes extended from my arms, aiming to entangle the demonic Wolf King, barely buffering its attack, giving me time to dodge. And although Chen Mengji's attitude wasn't great, she didn't stand by idly. She quickly pulled out a tube of potion and threw it. This was a green potion. After shattering, it turned into a cloud of poison, rapidly rushing towards the demonic Wolf King. After the demonic Wolf King realized this was a cloud of poison, it quickly retreated, but still inhaled a good amount of the poison. This poison takes about 3 minutes to take effect. Hold him off, Chen Mengji said in a deep voice. Leave it to me. I didn't retreat. Instead, I advanced. The diamond-shaped darts in my hand, one by one, quickly shot out. All the diamond-shaped darts' trajectories were extremely fast. And every time the demon Wolf King thought these diamond-shaped markers couldn't hit him, these diamond-shaped markers would collide in mid-air, instantly changing their trajectory, and cleverly shoot towards his most vulnerable spots. This feeling was like just a second ago they felt like they would fly past him. Things that posed no threat to him suddenly took a turn in an instant and all shot towards him. The demon Wolf King had never encountered such a situation, and was immediately flustered, almost not knowing how to dodge. Fortunately, his physical strength was tough, and the fur on his body was as hard as iron wire. He only needed to block slightly to avoid being hit in his vulnerable parts. But my offensive continued. The wood-shield sea of trees descended. A large number of trees tore through the earth, moving towards the demon Wolf King like a cage. But the demon Wolf King was no pushover either. With his palms swift as wind, he forcibly cut a sea of trees into wood chips. After neutralizing the descent of the sea of trees, 2 diamond-shaped markers shot directly at him again. These were not ordinary diamond-shaped markers. They were embedded with a 571 and a Leishi 1 respectively. But the demon Wolf King didn't know, and thought they were just ordinary diamond-shaped markers. So he carelessly raised his paw and swatted at them. The result was predictable. Humph! The 2 diamond-shaped markers instantly exploded. With rolling waves of fire and the power of thunder and lightning, directly knocking the demon wolf king to the ground. It was at this moment that Qian Mengji's previously thrown poison potion took effect. The demon wolf king immediately felt his body go weak, unable to exert any strength. Good opportunity. I've been waiting for this chance. Seeing that the demon wolf king was in a bad state, I decisively leaped forward, drew the warrior's dagger from my back, gripping it tightly with both hands. The blade directly pierced through the demon wolf king's skull. The demon wolf king, who was struggling a second ago, was completely still the next second. At this moment, a sound echoed in my mind, the system's voice. Ding! Congratulations, host, on completing the mission. You have slain the Wolf King and received a reward of 3,000 energy. Successfully completing the mission, a large sum of energy was now in my hands. I felt immensely pleased. Suddenly, warm applause erupted from the crowd. It was directed at me. Elder Qian said to me with a chuckle, I didn't expect, little brother, that at such a young age, you would possess such formidable strength and presence. Truly, a hero emerges from the young. They all witnessed the scene of my battle with the Demon Wolf King. Although it wasn't a one-on-one duel, nor could it be called exceptionally brave, I did, after all, dare to face a Tier 2, Level 3 Demon Wolf King head-on, and successfully killed it. Others wouldn't have had such courage and daring. It was all just good luck, I replied modestly. Without this maiden, you would have been torn to shreds long ago. Qian Mengji, who was beside me, suddenly interjected. Yes, it's all Miss Qian's credit. I merely lent a small hand. I didn't argue with her. Anyway, the mission was complete, and I didn't care whose credit it was. The convoy soon drove into Huaihai City, returning to the front of Wanlin Pavilion. All right, everyone, you've worked hard. After confirming safety, Elder Qian began distributing the rewards for this mission to everyone. When it was my turn, the agreed amount was 800 silver coins, but Elder Qian still gave me a gold coin. He also said, Little brother, your performance this time was outstanding. I hope you continue to work hard next time. I accepted the gold coin and expressed my thanks. Then I dismounted from the carriage. Ding! Congratulations, host, on completing the mission. You have completed a bounty team mercenary mission and received a reward of 1,000 energy paper. The mysterious shop system has been activated. Quickly open the mysterious shop. I eagerly chanted in my mind. A brand new virtual interface appeared before my eyes. Summoning Jutsu, 1,000 energy sealing Jutsu. Fire release, Heavenly Prison. 1,000 energy Sage Mode Tier 1. 3,000 energy Sage Mode Tier 2. 10,000 energy Sage Mode. Perfect, 30,000 energy. Flying Thunder God Technique, complete version. 50,000 energy. Seeing these things, I instantly felt invigorated. It turns out this mysterious shop sells things other than the Sharingan and would release. Moreover, it's not even the ordinary number of 5 shield personnel, but various powerful secret techniques. I coveted every single thing in here. Of course, the prices weren't cheap either. However, after experiencing the high price shock of ordinary shops, these prices weren't unacceptable to me. I also found a small line of text below the mysterious shop. Next round of item refresh time. 5 days later. In other words, these items refresh every 5 days. Each round has different things. If there's something you like, it's best to buy it within 5 days. Otherwise, you might not encounter it again in the next round. But with my current savings, to buy everything in the mysterious shop would be a bit difficult. I only have over 5,000 energy. So, I unhesitatingly acquired the summoning technique, Fire Style, Heavenly Prison, and a stage of Sage Mode. These 3 instantly cost 5,000 energy. The summoning technique, in this world overrun by demonic beasts, is greatly useful. If I sign contracts with a few more powerful demonic beasts as summoned creatures, my combat power can directly increase by a level. Although Fire Style, Heavenly Prison is a fire jutsu, it is also a type of sealing jutsu. Sage Mode, Stage 1 is the most basic Sage Mode improved by the system. It allows me to instantly enter Sage Mode, but can only last for about 10 minutes. Its sustained capability is a bit poor. These 3 items are all quite good. For me, they are enough to raise my combat power another step. If I were to face the demonic Wolf King again now, I believe I wouldn't lose in a one-on-one duel. It's getting late. I should go back. I looked up at the sky, which was gradually entering dusk. I was about to leave. Just then, suddenly 5 or 6 people surrounded me. blocking my path. These people were full of strength and bloodlust. At a glance, he was not skilled in the key was that their cultivation realms were all high. 3 were Tier 1, Level 10, 1 was Tier 2, Level 1, and 1 was Tier 2, Level 3. Moreover, on everyone's arm was tattooed a light black penhand pattern. This was the symbol of the Shadow Bounty Association. Is there something? I glanced at them indifferently. My heart was not flustered. The few people didn't speak, but instead opened a path. A man and a woman walked over. But I was very familiar with the woman. It was precisely Su Miaoning, who wanted to snatch my earrings during the day. The man next to Su Miaoning had sword-like eyebrows and star-like eyes, but a trace of malevolence emanated from between his brows. On his shoulder was even tattooed a golden penhand pattern. He was a gold medal assassin of the Shadow Bounty Association. It's the Shadow Bounty Association. A gold medal assassin of the Shadow Bounty Association. They're not common normally. We finally found you. Su Miaoning's expression was grim, her face full of malevolence. I calmly looked at him and said calmly, "What's wrong? Is there something?" But I also secretly sensed that Su Yidao's strength was very high, at least Tier 3. An ability user of this level was already considered a powerhouse. "You're the one who bullied my sister." Su Yidao raised his eyes, and his seemingly calm eyes looked at me. I shrugged. "If you say that buying something I paid for counts as bullying, then so be it. Just because you paid doesn't mean the item is yours. Anything my sister sets her eyes on must be hers." Su Yidao said in a calm tone. "I'll give you a chance. Hand over the item and kowtow to my sister to admit your mistake. I can spare your life." I said with an indifferent expression. "What if I don't?" Then Su Yidao, with a face full of malevolence, shouted, "Since that's the case, then you can take your dignity and die with it." With that, he stopped wasting words. His blade slashed down directly, mercilessly striking towards me. The myriad sharp edges hadn't fully arrived yet, but I already felt a sharp sting on my face. What powerful might! I saw his blade strike, directly cleaving into a large tree nearby. Instantly, the large tree was cut in half at the waist. Su Yidao was slightly stunned, because this strike hadn't truly hit. To be precise, it should have hit just a little bit. The clothes in front of my body were ripped open, and just as Su Yidao had prepared to strike me with that blade, I relied on my Sharingan, and instantly entered Sage mode, greatly enhancing my strength in a short period. This allowed me to narrowly dodge that strike. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Now, after entering Sage mode, faint golden markings appeared at the corners of my eyes. At the same time, my strength nearly doubled, reaching Tier 2, Level 3. Although I still couldn't compare to Su Yidao, at least I had the power to fight. This was all thanks to my Sharingan. Su Yidao, with a hint of surprise, said, "To actually be able to dodge the strike, your luck isn't bad." In his opinion, I had only managed to dodge earlier purely by luck. Then, he slowly tightened his grip on the large blade in his hand. He became a little more serious. Then he said, "Can you dodge the second strike that follows?" I calmly replied, "Feel free to try." At the same time, I slowly closed my right eye. While my left eye slowly transformed from a 3-tomo Sharingan into a Mangekyo with a 6-pointed star pattern. Mangekyo Sharingan plus Sage mode. Facing Su Yidao, who was Tier 3, Level 1, I was not without the power to fight. Su Yidao frowned slightly. He said, "The spirit-child affinity is quite rare." He noticed the change in my eyes, but didn't pay much attention to it, because he had seen too many strange and unusual or rare ability types. The spirit-child affinity wasn't the first time he'd seen it. Moreover, the spirit-child affinity wasn't much different from other abilities, and wasn't enough to bridge the gap between us. Then he roared, "This strike will send you on your way." If he missed this time, it would affect his reputation as a gold medal assassin. For him to face me, a mere Tier 1 ability user, and use his full power would also affect his reputation. The balance here was very subtle. However, he still unleashed a strike that he believed was enough to kill me, killing me. Yet wouldn't make it seem like he was making a mountain out of a molehill. Su Yidao's speed was extremely fast. Because he was a strength type and like wind types, he had a speed boosting effect. Ordinary Tier 2 ability users probably wouldn't even have time to clearly see his movements before becoming a ghost under his blade. But I was different. Under the powerful vision of the Mangekyo Sharingan, Su Yidao's movements were seen clearly by me. At the same time, with the enhancement of Sage Mode, my physical attributes received a comprehensive boost, providing me with sufficient reaction speed. Under everyone's astonished gazes, I once again successfully dodged Su Yidao's attack. Not only were the spectators stunned, even Su Yidao himself had a face full of disbelief. He, the dignified gold medal assassin of the Shadow Bounty Guild, was actually dodged twice in a row by a mere Tier 1 nobody like me. He successively dodged 2 attacks. If this were to get out, how would he save face? Don't be too surprised. This time, while dodging the attack, I shot out several diamond-shaped darts with a backhand motion. They flew towards Su Yidao from different angles. Su Yidao said with a disdainful expression, "Attacks of this level are simply not worth mentioning." He casually used his broad blade to block all of my diamond-shaped darts. Then he added, "I didn't expect you to actually have some skill. No wonder you dared to provoke my sister. Since that's the case, then I'll just have to go all out to show my respect for you." This time, Su Yidao no longer cared about his reputation. If he were to show mercy again, then he would truly have no face. But just at this moment, a clear, cold voice suddenly rang out, only to see Qian Mengji walk out from the Myriad Spirit Pavilion. With a face full of frost, he said, "I say, Su Yidao, you Shadow Bounty Guild members now dare to be arrogant on this maiden's territory?" After I completed the handover mission, I was intercepted before I even had time to get far from the Myriad Spirit Pavilion. So not far behind me is the Myriad Spirit Pavilion. Qian Mengji was perfectly aware of the commotion here. Su Yidao raised his head and glanced at Qian Mengji. He said coldly, "This place is already outside your Myriad Spirit Pavilion's bounds. It's not your territory, Qian Mengji." Qian Mengji did not speak. Instead, she pulled me back, retreating to the front of the Myriad Spirit Pavilion. Then she said, "Now he is on my Myriad Spirit Pavilion's grounds." This action by Qian Mengji immediately astonished many people. Without a doubt, she was trying to protect me. This youngster, who clearly looked like a rookie, what was his relationship with Qian Mengji, that she would personally come out to protect him? Su Yidao let out a cold snort and said, "Qian Mengji, you're going to protect him? I get it now. So this kid is your toy boy. What do you see in him?" Arm-mounted system, but Qian Mengji crossed her arms over her chest, and with a slight smirk on her face, she said, "In any case, he is currently on my Myriad Spirit Pavilion's grounds. If you have the guts, try to lay a hand on him." Su Yidao was clearly somewhat wary of Qian Mengji. His gaze was cold, but he didn't dare to actually make a move. He said fiercely, "Very well. You Qian Mengji are capable. But I'd like to see if you can protect him for a while. Can you protect this youngster forever? After today, he'd better hide as far away as possible. Otherwise, no one will be able to protect you." After giving me a cold glance, Su Yidao turned around, about to leave with Su Miaoning. But just then, I nevertheless took a step forward, stepping out of the Myriad Spirit Pavilion's grounds. I said firmly, "No need to wait for later. Let's do it today." While everyone thought this was about to end, even as Su Yidao was preparing to leave, I, however, resolutely stepped forward again and spoke those words. This instantly shocked the entire crowd. Qian Mengji also completely didn't expect that I would at this moment make such a move. She hurriedly pulled me, whispering, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" She finally managed to step forward to drive Su Yidao away and protect you, but I'm just putting myself in harm's way again. How could there be someone as foolish as you in this world? Isn't this making all her previous efforts go to waste? Su Yidao stopped in his tracks. He looked back at me. He also felt puzzled by my foolish behavior. But since this youngster wants to seek death himself, then he can't be blamed. "Boss Chen, it seems your toy boy isn't very smart. Now it's not that I'm not giving you face. It's that he himself insists on seeking death. So don't blame me." He smiled with a sinister expression, once again drawing his great saber and approaching me step by step. This time, he would absolutely not give me any more chances. Watching Su Yidao turn back, my expression was calm, appearing extremely composed. To others, my actions were very foolish, but I didn't care at all. On one hand, I could not accept being so humiliated by someone and then doing nothing. My self-esteem absolutely would not allow such a thing to happen. On the other hand, and most importantly, a task was triggered: defeat Su Yidao. Task reward: 5,000 energy. I didn't want to do this either, but the system's reward was simply too generous. You can't blame me for this. Although the difficulty of this task was considerable, it wasn't entirely impossible. Sui Dao said with a sinister expression, "Youngster, you actually have the courage to utter these words. Then I will also give you a chance to show your backbone." Immediately after, he fiercely charged towards me, leapt high into the air. The great saber in his hand carried mountain-splitting, rock-cleaving force, and slashed down fiercely towards me. This time he went all out. He intended to finish me with a single strike. I neither dodged nor flinched. My left eye's Mangekyo Sharingan silently shed 2 lines of blood. My gaze was locked firmly on Sui Dao. I roared, "Amaterasu!" An extremely intense sense of danger instantly surged into Sui Dao's heart. The next instant, a cluster of pitch-black flames appeared before him without any warning. By the time he reacted, he subconsciously swung the great saber in his hand fiercely, successfully splitting the oncoming black flames into 2 halves. However, the split black flames did not dissipate. Instead, they landed on his body. The black flames instantly spread across Sui Dao's body, carrying an astonishing temperature. The terrifying high temperature made Sui Dao's face contort. He quickly slapped at it with his hands, trying to extinguish this strange fire. Not only did this fail to extinguish the Amaterasu, but it also caused his hands to become tainted by these black Amaterasu flames, and rapidly spread towards his entire arm. In just a short while, Sui Dao's entire body was enveloped by the Amaterasu flames. The intense pain, as if even his soul was being scorched, made him let out a horrific scream. Su Miaoning, who was beside him, saw this situation, and quickly went to help Sui Dao pat out the flames on his body. As a result, Su Miaoning also became tainted by Amaterasu, and the flames rapidly spread. Similarly, horrific screams rang out, making everyone around feel their scalps tingle with dread. In less than a minute, both of them were completely burned to ashes. At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with nothing but endless dread. This was no longer mere shock. It was mixed with fear. Those strange black flames, in just 2 or 3 minutes, had burned the esteemed gold medal assassin of the Shadow Bounty Guild to ashes, and it seemed that the black flames did not seem so easy to extinguish. This should have been my fate, but it became Sui Dao's fate instead. Seeing Sui Dao finally burned to death, I also slightly panted, my chest heaving. Sage mode also vanished with it. Amaterasu's consumption was indeed a bit high, but as long as it achieved the desired effect, that was enough. Who said Amaterasu couldn't burn people to death? I just wanted to prove that Amaterasu could burn people to death. If it weren't for Amaterasu having a usage limit, I would have used it long ago. Why would I have waited until now? Ding! Congratulations, host, for completing the mission. Defeat Sui Dao. Reward, 5,000 energy. The mission completion notification sound, and the message about the energy points being credited, made me feel incredibly relieved. Chen Mengji, in surprise, slightly opened her rosy little mouth. After a brief pause, she looked at me with a face full of surprise and said, "Little brother, I didn't expect you to hide such a technique." "Amazing," I responded with a serious expression. "Let me correct you. I'm not little when it comes to Chen Mengji. I feel quite good about her. At least she was willing to stand up for me just now." This was already quite rare. Moreover, Chen Mengji was a rare beauty, with delicate features, a full bosom, and a slender figure. Her long legs were fair and straight, a living, breathing, beautiful big sister type. She originally had no need to, for my sake, have an unpleasant confrontation with Sui Dao, but she still did it. This touched me somewhat. Really not little? Chen Mengji understood the meaning in my words. Her narrow, long eyes casually glanced at my lower body, with a profound meaning. This, in turn, made me a bit embarrassed. As expected, those who could open a shop in a place like Huainan City were not ordinary people. Chen Mengji already had no longer possessed that kind of innocence other girls had. Anyway, still, I have to thank Miss Chen today. I'll remember your help today. I quickly changed the subject. Chen Mengji gave a playful smile and said, "No need to be polite. Anyway, I didn't really help much. In the end, you solved everything yourself. I'll be going now." Without lingering too long, I boarded the flying car returning to Grey Dragon City. and embarked on the journey home.